Okay, guys, Eric just posted a live video. We are going to share that with you. It is long, it's about 30 minutes long. I'm going to let him go over everything that he's going through. He's going to start basically talking about the Airbnb and the condo, and then he'll go from there. So take a listen.
Eric, you need to come to the condo. The hair was already standing up on the back of my neck. I knew when I saw the dogs coming in, and he told the owner that he was bringing the dogs. I knew it was a lie, guys. I had just seen too much up until that point. It's like he can't tell the truth about anything. Seeing the pills on the floor, the poop, and like, I understand people dip. You saw this, dude. It was everywhere. All in the pillows, all in the bed, all over. The sink was, the kitchen sink literally stopped up with it. It looked like it was this vase that was put on like a dining room table that had flowers in it, that got, the decorations got taken out and they just used it as a spittoon. It was ruined, guys. And it was only in there for a week. Whatever was in that refrigerator to spoil that quick. Now, I want you to think about this. Somebody that had those living conditions, and he did this to a guy that was a friend. I paid for that Airbnb, but it gets worse. I felt sorry for Patrick. He had that broken leg. I wanted him to get better. I went to Kroger, guys, and spent $250. Cookies, milk, eggs, bacon, bread, your essentials, paper plates, Cokes, all. And I brought those groceries to him, and I said, Patrick, here you go, man. You got what you need to heal. Stay here. He told me he was going to be there by himself, just wanted to get away, and his house wasn't optimal. Eric, I'm coming. I just want to get away by myself. Half the neighborhood was there the whole time, guys. It just got destroyed. But someone that would do that to a condo where a friend rented it for him, and a guy that just newly renovated it, and he gave him a very big deal on that place. Guys, bent over backwards for us, upgraded the internet so I could give you guys the updates while I was there. Went and hung up a TV for Timmy on a Sunday. Like, they were the nicest people, and that was how they got repaid. The doors were left wide open for like a day and a half, just left wide open on the back, didn't even shut them. It's like, when he found out he had to leave, like, this is my exit, right? And then you see his house that has no walls, no insulation. That $4,000, $3,000 of that was the Whittakers' money that he never gave to the Whittakers, that I had been on him for a month and a half. You've got the Whittakers' money. You need to hand it back over. That's not your money, Patrick. And he wouldn't do it. This past month, I didn't want to hold on to their money because I know of the accusations that happened. But I said, give it to me. I'm going to go get the trust account set up. I wanted to get the money away from him. I thought maybe if I can get the money away from him, things will be better. It would have just kept snowballing, guys. He sent 2/3 of it. The other third, never got. Last month was the first month they got paid. Out of $3,000 that was supposed to go to the Whittakers, they only got 1,000 of it because that 1,000 is what he gave me. And I spent $662 on the water bill, 2 rolls of snuff for Larry and Ray, and then put $250 on a prepaid debit card and gave it to Betty and Larry before I left and said, this is in case you have an emergency while I'm not here. And at that point, I had none of their money on my hands. None. I didn't want it. I know the whole world is watching. And guys, we actually benefit. Everything goes much better if we just do the right thing. I don't understand this. But the guy that's doing, like, have you seen any sheetrock and insulation? When I asked for money to help with the Airbnb, people stepped up to the plate because that's the first time you ever heard me ask for money. And as soon as I saw I had what I needed, I said, stop. Part of the reason I was going to send a little bit of money over, I sent him $1,000 of that money and then told him that $3,000 that you owe the Whittakers, Patrick, I'm going to call it even. You need to go get that sheetrock and insulation, because he was wanting to run a fundraiser for his house. It was my way of trying to stop him from running a new fundraiser for his house. That was where the $4,000 came in. The reason you guys heard about it in public, I was leaving you the breadcrumbs. I knew this was going to eventually implode. It was just going down a bad path. It's been 2 weeks. Where's the sheetrock and insulation? Have you seen any rooms completed? It started with, we're supposed to be getting the Whittakers a home, and there at the end it was, let the Whittakers move in with me for the winter, and let's fix up my house, and then we'll build them a house. We're not going to have time. If the Amish would have gotten involved, guys, they would have built that new house quicker than they could have done Patrick's house. His house is just as bad, if not worse, than the Whittakers' home. Not cleanliness-wise, but it's still a house. It has no walls. There's parts of it has no floor. It goes straight to the ground. Nothing. The first time I came up, he asked me if I wanted to stay there, and I was going to do it. I'm not bougie, but I got there. No. There was a mattress on the porch with an egg crate that looked like it had been rolled around in the mud. Look, with the type of work that I do, I don't ask for much. I just need a clean place to sleep and rest at the end of the night so I can recharge my batteries and get ready the next day. And I was like, man, I'll have to go get a hotel. And it really sucked because I didn't have the money to be up here doing that. Guys, it gets worse and worse. I'll give you the full story later. But just know, I really was hoping he would get better. And this is what I would say. Patrick loved Timmy in the beginning. It was the only thing that allowed me to keep trying to help him. By the time I found out what was really going on, I was already knee-deep in this thing. I came in with good intentions, and by the time I found out, we were already in the public. And I had already developed a relationship with Timmy and the family and wanted to help him. And I believe Betty sincerely loves her family. But when Mark started coming in, and then Patrick, and then the other people, when people show up, they get all this free stuff, and they don't have to get any better. If this was any other family, people would have been sounding the alarm a long time ago. But because it was the Whittakers and people love them, Ray and Lorraine and Timmy are so lovable, they allowed things to happen that if it was going on with any other family, we would say, hey, somebody's got to do something about this. He's sitting in his own fecal matter, or he's sitting in urine. Yes, they have genetic problems and something going on in the background, but it still doesn't matter. The ones that are supposed to be taking care of them, they're not sitting in their own urine and feces. They know they don't want to sit in urine and feces. They put on clean clothes. Then they know that their siblings are supposed to too. The siblings, they're getting money to take care of them every month. Are you seeing them being taken care of? There was just so many things, man. But all right, I'm going way too far. I'm going to do that final one later. This came up, guys, and I had to get out, but it was just one of those things that, when I found out we missed a court date, I said, if you go back from the very beginning, we have 10 days. And we went 3 different days. I must have got confused. I could have swore they said the original date was like September 9th through 10th. That's why I extended my stay, and I was in the public. I got to stay with the Airbnb. They knew the day was the 4th. But let's say everybody screwed it up. We all screwed up the protective order and didn't get there on the right day. They was offered 3 different times. Do you want it? No. So, and I was getting played like a fiddle at their house when she was in that camper, or so they thought. I had my eyes open. When me and Mark walked the property, Devil's Backbone, there's a road back there. I said, Mark, look, 2 fresh campfires, like right there. It hadn't been long abandoned. I had a feeling she was around. Now, I wasn't involved in flying drones or any of that, but I don't know, man. And for the people that think, well, this family was doing good, they should have just been left alone. Trust me, I've had that thought many times. They did survive, but doing good, listen to all these instances of abuse. I mean, when she was talking about Ray getting beat, guys, it was bad, like severe, and he can't tell anybody. And then what was going on with Timmy? BJ just hit him in the head one time. BJ's boyfriend had him on the ground on top of him, like an MMA fighter, ground and pound. None of these had ever been reported. And then as I do my homework, I find out there's like 5 sex offenders in that area. One of them that was a Whittaker that served 8 years and 1 month in prison for sexual assault on a child. So, was Timmy, Lorraine, and Timmy, Lorraine, and Ray in a good environment? Timmy, I worry about the most. Well, Lorraine, guys, she knows more than people think she does. She may be selective on her words, but she's very smart. And I believe you can tell Lorraine knew I was looking after her and I loved her. There was a reason she would talk to me. Did you see her talk that way with other people? You watch when other people went around with that camera on. She wouldn't even look at them. She knew who was taking care of her son. I believe Patrick loved Timmy in the beginning, though. Out of 0 to 100, it was probably about 5%, but there was some love there. In the end, it was when the camera was on. When people asked to take pictures in public, he was in the picture too. Anytime they asked to take pictures with the family when I was there, you want me to take it for you? I don't want to be in that. I wanted them to get their moment. I wanted them to be looked at as human beings for the loving people that they are, not the freak show. And I had a lot of work to do to flip that around. And I think it was working, you know?
I think you can run a videogram with the burn share.
Oh, does anybody want a videogram with me? Maybe I can go get one of the Whittaker's cats or dogs, and you can do a videogram. You submit your order down below.
The burnt chair.
The first thing I saw when I woke up this morning, I stayed off of social media, guys, because I knew when you wasn't hearing from me, I never went home. I wanted to know what was going on with Timmy. I would never have left Timmy that night if I would have knew I had the ability to take him with me. I thought it would be kidnapping. No, Timmy's an adult. He's never been declared mentally incapable. I didn't know that. I thought they would get, Eric took me and call the cops. They would love to pin something on me right now. Timmy ran to that car and hugged me for 15, 20 seconds, guys. He didn't want to let go. And the only thing he said, standing right here beside me, was, "Today?" And I had started learning his vernacular. That meant, "You're coming back for me today." And I just shook my head no, and the look on his face, it told the whole story, guys. He was getting a shower twice a day. His head was healed. He was clean. He was fed. Go back and watch that video when he woke up and he was watching Barney. I've never seen Timmy that happy. I started learning he's more of like a toddler. You know, not just a younger kid. He's more like a toddler in a adult's body. And he wants to be loved on like a toddler. He wants to be, "Get me that boy. You know, come here, bud. Come here. You better not call 911. Timmy ate that up. He had never had that attention. He never had that dad. He gave coloring books and forgotten on that porch. And that's just the truth. And, you know, the sad thing is, like I said, I know Betty loves her family. She made some poor choices, and I hope, even with the poor choices she made, I don't know what happens from here, but I hope she gets to see her family at some point. But they don't need to be put in that position like they were last time. They do not need to be involved in money or YouTube or any of that, guys. It's just, look at what it's cost. Look at what it's cost. And Patrick, I'll tell you, man, when I read that this morning about that with BJ, make sure he gives you the whole conversation. I would love to see the whole ring camera footage of when Adult Protection Services showed up yesterday. I'd love to see the whole thing. See if you can get him to post the whole thing. But what happened, I guess it was about a month ago or something, Patrick said he was going to go clean up down at the Whittaker's property. He did that a few times. I give him credit. But he had several people there, and I do believe they were the ones that did the work. And Patrick stood back with the camera. And at some point, BJ had a chair that was just tattered. It was horrible. And Patrick just burned it. He wasn't asking them, do you want this or not? And look, I get it. To any of us watching, what he was doing was probably junk, you know? There was a lot of stuff at their house that, to most of us, we'd be like, that's junk. But that's their property. You don't just go in there and say, I'm doing away with this, I'm doing away with this. And then if you do that, it also doesn't help in the future because they have to learn to make choices to let go of that stuff themselves. I've watched hoarders. You got to, hey, can we get rid of this? You know, work with it. And he just went and burned it. And somehow BJ got my number, I'm guessing from Larry. And she called me up, fussing about that chair. He burned my chair. Well, then I hear from Larry. And then I heard from Betty, they were saying, yeah, Patrick burned it. He didn't ask anybody. And I got on the phone with Patrick, and I said, Patrick, go on Marketplace, find something comparable, and get her a new chair. I was like, there's probably someone even giving one away that was in the same condition. I know you didn't mean anything by it, that it was probably a piece of trash, but you destroyed their property. You can't do that, guy, and you're going to get in trouble. And he would not, when he says he wouldn't placate it, no, he wouldn't. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. It needed to be thrown away. And there was a lot of me that agreed with Patrick. It was junk. But you don't go and destroy people's property, guys. You just can't do that. It's wrong. They needed to be taught. And this is not going to happen overnight. You're going to have patience with this. There's going to be many times where it's going to get on your nerves, and it's, you know, it's a process. But they're going to need that one-on-one attention. Hey, this isn't the way to do it. Let me show you a better way. I had started getting to where Ray wanted to wash his hands every time he was with me when he came out of the bathroom. And for people that wasn't around, that was a big deal. Because Ray didn't do that in the beginning. But he started getting it, and I learned. Ray wanted to do what I did. He wanted to copy me. They need that one-on-one attention to be shown what to do. If you just go in there raising, this is what's being done, you're not helping, you know. But I would say to Patrick, man, dude, fess up. If you ever loved Timmy, just be honest, man. And look at what it's caused. I don't want to do a YouTube. It's over, dude. It's over. Oh, the grifting, yeah, it's over. That was never my intentions in the first place, guys. I thought this was a good thing from the outside in. A lot of you did too. You thought it was good. By the time I got there, I was knee deep, but I left you guys breadcrumbs the entire way. I went to his family and was trying to reach him. Like, dude, do you realize what you're doing here? You can't spend their money. That's their money. People are sending donations. That's for the Whittakers. I specifically, when I made the contract, guys, and I'll be transparent, I made the contract with them, and I put in there 100% of donated money is to go to the Whittaker family. All donations and all physical donations, like presents and stuff, belong solely to the Whittaker family. Last I had talked to the Whittakers, I don't think they got any donation money, guys. Who all sent money? There was a reason why I was asking you. If you ever sent money, because you didn't send it to me, put it in the chat. It needs to be accounted for. I could never get him to tell me, and I knew there was because I saw the messages. I know of people that sent because they knew my family and thought that I was involved in it and would make sure it went where it was supposed to, and I couldn't even answer them. You know, they sent $100. Good, loving people that were falling for it, and I have no idea how much it is, because I can tell you 10 minutes after I asked for help with the Airbnb, when I say people stepped up, I was like, hey, stop it. I don't want any more money. I knew what comes along with that. But look how long I've been up here, guys. I wasn't prepared to take that hit. And for those of you that helped so I could stay here, thank you. I'll say one last thing, and then we're going to get out of here. For those that said, why don't you ever do anything with anybody but Timmy? Well, I did. Timmy was the easy one. You don't have to watch over him much. When the camera's off, you can be like, oh, just go over there and eat a bologna sandwich. I'm going to go over here and fart around on Facebook. I got to do some videograms. Or answer some messages and get some donations. Ray, Lorraine, they are work. Lorraine, not so much. There's a little work there. Mostly just making sure she doesn't fall and that she knows where she's going. Ray, well, God love him, is work, okay? And he's hands-on. The night after the movies, which I shouldn't be surprised, he ate all that popcorn and drank that Coca-Cola for his first time ever. He tore it up. But as we was coming back, we went through the toll booth and I heard, ugh! And I was just like, oh my God. And I said, did Ray just puke? Larry said, no, he didn't puke. And I said, well, I heard something. That was just a burp. He didn't puke. I was like, are you sure, Larry? No. We get them home and I go to get Ray out of the car, puke all over the back seat of my car and my floorboard on the seat. And I'm out there like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, getting some rubber gloves, and I'm having to clean puke out of my car. It was interesting. So that's work. It's not as easy to take them. Ray is going to use the bathroom anywhere, you know. He needs one-on-one attention, and I think that was work that he just didn't want to do. So that's why I believe. And with Timmy, if I say, oh, I took Timmy to do this, then I can justify I need money to get Timmy here, right? And that's what I started, you know, I told him, I said, dude, he was a kid that sat on the porch for 46 years of his life. He is just happy to be in your presence and spending time. He doesn't have to go to all these places. Read him a book. Teach him how to shave. Be a dad. Be a dad. But no, that's what it became. Or, yeah, why is Timmy in Victoria's Secret? Why are we teaching Timmy how to shoot birds and cuss? It quickly became, well, if I say Timmy wants to do it, then that justifies me saying I need money so that I can go do it. And I realized that very early on. One morning he texts me saying, I'm taking Timmy skydiving. I'm like, what? And I think people, it was the persona. He has a likable character, down home country boy, good old boy, and man, guys, it just wasn't the first rodeo. Like I said, I knew about the record. I really went out of my way to help the guy. And even now, I don't wish ill will towards him. I hope you get it straightened out, dude. I can't go down for what you've been doing. You see what it's caused. And Betty and Larry, you was about to get a new home. What I don't understand, Mark, Betty and them told me they wanted the protective order. That was why I came up from Georgia. I didn't even budge. Like, as soon as they told me we needed help, I was like, I'm on my way, because I knew Patrick had a broke leg and he couldn't do anything. And I knew Larry was going to pussyfoot around with it because he really didn't want BJ to get in trouble. And once I got there, Betty talked a lot more. And I really thought that Betty was just feeling intimidated by Larry, and that's why all of this was going on. I saw much other later. But
Mass here. I was not here.
We was all here to help.
Yeah, we're all here to get the home built.
Robert Mass didn't want to be on camera. This guy didn't want to be on camera, and believe it or not, guys, this was not the way I wanted to be on camera. I was planning on being on there to do what needed to be done to help the process move along. And I'm just telling you, I wish this was the end of it. I've got so much more. But right now, the focus is on Ray, Lorraine, and Timmy. And I want to get that behind us so it can move forward When I woke up this morning and saw that about the chair, I was like, here we go. I'm sure there's going to be many more shots taken at me, maybe even some strangers to join in. I have an ex that loves to talk crap about me, always has. You know what? I'm sure a lot of guys and people out there have been in bad relationships and will probably relate. This isn't about anything but what's going on with those three. And I hope we can still build their house, guys. I hope we can still build their house. But I just think it got to the point. There's too many lies and deception. And when you look at Ray sitting in his own feces and urine, I've had to do a lot of, rethinking this whole thing. They are all, him and Lorraine and them, they're always so happy. So you think, it's not optimal, but they're okay. They love each other. They got their own language. It's not okay for them to be doing like that, guys. Betty and Larry knew better. You don't see Betty and Larry living in squalor like that. Yes, no. And she was offered that continuance, that protective order 3 different times. Thank you for trying to make me take the fall. That was how you thanked me when I came up here and did everything that I did. I didn't want any thank yous for that, guys. But I definitely didn't want this. I was literally the only one that did anything. And again, for tit for tat, if I put out the tit, they need to have a tat. They don't have a tat. So, we're out of here. Yeah, go get a job. And I can promise you, yes, I'm a content creator, but I'm one of the hardest working content creators you will ever see in your life. You can ask this guy, and there's several people that have been with me. I'll run you ragged.
We help you. We actually help.
We help people. We've been doing this for years. Go down my wall, look what's happened. I've been involved in murder cases with dads, with kids. Brian Adams, the burn victim. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, guys. Jeff Younger, I've been fighting against. Which I have to get back on very soon. But my buddy has been fighting for over 7 years now to make sure that his son remains his son. They want to chemically castrate him, chop off his private, and not chop off, chemically castrate, which means it would just rot off. His private would rot off, and then give him estrogen and turn him into a girl. That was one of the big cases that I've been working on for years when nobody else would talk about it. That was one of the cases I was working on, and I started putting all that in the background to come work on this.
Exactly.
So I've got very important work to be working on, but I'm not leaving until I know that he's taken care of. I would say, Patrick, go do the right thing, dude. Go do the right thing. It's gonna suck regardless. The damage has been done now, but just on up to it. And if you keep making this stuff, I've got all the receipts. I've got the Whittaker's money. It's safe. I've already contacted necessary people and said, I've got it. Hand it over. Whatever. That is their money. You can have my banking account. You can see my apps. You can see everything. I have nothing to hide. Everything I'm saying right now is seen by all of them. You understand that, right? They told Betty. We watched every one of Eric's videos when I was being accused of doing what just happened. And it's ironic that because of her choices, she ended up doing what she was accusing me of to herself. In the video, they told you it was because BJ came back around. Guys, she literally sat there and told them about numerous...
Okay, guys, like I said, there was a long video, a lot of commentary from Eric there. My goal here is to let you get the information, let you hear things, and you make your judgment. I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm here to allow you to hear the facts and hear the videos on both sides, and for you to make your judgments. Have a great night. If Patrick posts something, I'm sure he will probably later, we'll put that video up as well. Thank you. Have a good night.